10 times a day, what are you doing right now? And
10, are you kidding? It's like 100 times a day in some relationship. I had a taxi driver once who was trying to explain to somebody that he has liked this picture in February. We were in June.
And I think it was Stalin, we could disagree on that. Quantity has its own quality.
If there is room for such a communication, it will happen.
I would beg to differ.
Champagne, guys.
Champagne. Cheers.
Yeah. We have something special to celebrate.
What would that be?
I don't know, you tell me.
Well, I'm engaged now. So she's wonderful, she's beautiful, she's very intelligent.
I know.
She's smooth and educated, and she is the most lovely woman, of course, in at least my world. But what is actually our topic today?
Our topic today is how technology influences our relationships. Yes. Okay, the ambitious project here is, will we be able to talk about how technology influences our relationship over 50?
Yeah.
And it's something that it will be tricky to describe and to understand, but we could try. But to start with, we can stick to the generic thing. Yeah. Does technology influence our relationship?
Let's sprinkle the 50 plus aspect in wherever you feel like it should be. But Diana, that's a pretty big topic. And if I may, relationships obviously come in phases. There is the pre-relationship phase where you date and you want to have a relationship or you explore relationships. You're beating around the bush. Could this be the right person? Then there's the early mid-relationship phase, and maybe, hopefully not too often, but inshallah it happens, there's also the end of relationships. All of these phases could potentially be affected.
Yeah, definitely.
By technology. What are we talking about today?
I wouldn't like us to talk about the dating things because it's an ocean.
It's just too much.
Yeah, it's a separate topic, and it's a science now, unfortunately, and some of us master, some of us don't. I would really be happy to share my experiences on this topic, that how to date online. They are not so rich, my experiences. I can't, neither very successful, but I still have my point of view on how it works. But I would rather go into, okay, let's assume that we are already in a relationship.
Yes.
So does this change as compared to what it was before? And I know it's a very 50s thing and very nostalgic thing. How we used to be before, like waiting by the phone and exchanging letters, written letters, and waiting for days to have some news from somebody. And now everything is immediate, etc. And the overall opinion, I would say, is that it's a negative thing.
That's what many people say. They say, it's gotten so fast, I feel so much scrutinized, I feel so much pressure to report, to reply constantly.
Yes, and not only this, I think that overall there is a trend to blame technologies for everything. Like kids don't read anymore, that's because of technology. People don't have values, that's because of technologies. Love doesn't exist anymore, it's just a trading exercise that you go in with somebody, it's because of the technologies. And my opinion here is that, people stay basically the same. Now our threshold of frustration, and I never know whether it went higher or lower, I don't know, I never knew whether it's how, you tolerate frustration has changed. Things that we used to wait for like 3 days, 3 weeks, now happen in 30 minutes. But the basic thing is the same. I think, I'm honestly convinced that love affairs, relationships function in the same way with or without technologies. Okay, now we have more instruments to know what the other one is doing. as compared to before.
Yes.
But we still have the same area of interpretations. If somebody is absent for 3 hours, 30 minutes, or 3 days, and I'm talking like a woman here, I will still make the same movies in my head. Okay, it will get faster, but the scenarios will be the same.
I see your point, but to cite, and I think it was Stalin, we could disagree on that, quantity has its own quality. So the single fact that I could check on him or her 10 times a day, what are you doing right now? And
10, are you kidding? It's like 100 times a day in some relationships.
100 times. And I could literally look at my watch and measure the response times in minutes or maybe even seconds. I mean, this simple fact, I think, changed the dynamics. There's much more room for failure. I mean, there's one thing to send a letter or a postcard or return a call on a phone, on a rotary phone.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a very good point about the room of failure, because it's like, yes, you can write the wrong thing over texting or whatever, because it's a delicate fabric, I would say. Like, writing is an art, and expressing things through written communication is a risk, because you don't have the tone of voice, you don't have the mood. It's a
very narrow communication channel.
But now, the good thing is that we can correct this quite easily. You can go and explain and provide details, leave a voice message, stuff like this. Before it was, okay, I've sent this letter, I almost forgot what I wrote in there. And it's there.
Yeah.
And go figure what I wrote, why I wrote it, at this moment, like 3 days, 1 week has passed, and I don't even know what my mood was like. Now, yes, there is a lot more room for failure, but there is a lot more room for reparation as well, for correction, let's put it like this. Yeah, go.
So if I understand you correctly, what you're saying, please feel free to correct. What you're saying is, okay, yes, there is much, the type of communication changes. We write more, talk maybe less, and it's a more narrow band. But on the other hand, the correction is also more immediate. So I can instantly reply and try to correct something that's being misunderstood, misinterpreted, misconstrued.
Yes.
But does it also mean, just asking you as a psychologist now, does it mean there is a kind of a duty to, if something irks me in the communication, something is not right here, something is wrong, I feel, I don't know, I get this in a certain way. Should I ask then, how do you mean that? Please explain yourself.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I think that the same rules apply in technology-enhanced communication as in the human language and normal communication. I don't know what's normal, what is not, but
pre-technology communication.
Pre-technology communication. You have to still establish some rules. You have to still establish some boundaries. You still have to say, okay, now I'm working, now I'm not, now I'm available, now etc. Yes, the scope of possibilities is so large that you can go, head first and get lost.
Yeah.
And be on but that's an emotional education, an expectations education that one has to do with themselves. Like now everything is so intense. In 3 days you can date, start a relationship, have the relationship, and end the relationship.
Yeah.
Before it was you would need like 3 months. Now everything is concentrated. Is it a bad thing or a good thing? I think it's efficiency that we are gaining. Are we gaining in depth? Not sure. But it multiplies the experiences. Hopefully, it multiplies the learnings. hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. For me, it's not a mandatory bad thing, and it filters all the shallow connections that you can have.
How does it do that? How does the mechanism work? I don't quite get it.
Because, now, imagine you are in a relationship,
Yes.
and you have to go to the supermarket and you have to buy something. And instead of describing, like, okay, should I buy this yogurt, that yogurt, and you just send the picture. And I noticed that we 50s plus people, we're not so used to taking pictures. I can see my son. What he does, he takes a picture, he sends the picture instead of explaining himself lengthy about what are the... And I do this now as well, because I'm going to a shop and I'm like putting my camera on and like, do you like this t-shirt, that t-shirt, or this? He says the second one. Okay. Instead of taking the risk of having making the wrong choice. Anyway, so this... we are gaining efficiency because we are not wasting time in describing stuff. Like, we're just, okay, that's the picture. And then it frees room for deeper communication. If there is room for such a communication, it will happen. If you have nothing else to tell to each other except the percentage of the yogurt, like the
3.6, by the way, is the right answer.
Okay, yeah. Then it will be quickly resolved. Like, you're discussing about the yogurt, probably you're happy with this. If you're not, you will know sooner rather than later.
But that's a very interesting thought. Let's stay here just for 1 second, because I think this is interesting and I haven't looked at it like that. So what you're saying is, okay, because you can get all these mundane details, the shallow stuff out of the way rather quickly, you find out more soonly whether or not there is something more there, something to be, something to say, something to discuss, something to transmit that is beyond that, that's deeper. And if there's nothing, you say, okay, look, we can't talk or send pictures about yogurt for the next 50 years. So let's maybe...
But yeah, it's I'm assuming that, you have this space where you meet physically.
Yeah.
And once you have sorted out all the logistics, you can sit with the right yogurts, the right wine, and just go through it. But I'm not sure that it happens exactly in this way. But I think that, it's the same with the... with all the selfies and the eternal search for perfection and beauty, etc. Okay, I will post myself how beautiful I am, and this is retouched and everything, beautiful bodies, beautiful faces, etc. But I think that there is also always a reality check. I don't think that people are so easily misled into this. They all know that everybody now, and that's how I think, everybody knows that that's not reality. That's just a picture.
I would beg to differ from two perspectives here coming. As you know, I'm not just a lawyer, but I'm also a photographer. So I pretty much know that also the intricate details of how a picture is being retouched, how it differs from what I saw, what the camera saw. And even that was already the result of a makeup artist being present, a stylist being present, having the taste to choose the right location, the right light, and the right sujet that fits the model, and so on. I'm quite familiar with that. It's an intricate process. But I would say that most people, even if they know that consciously, that, the pictures are probably photoshopped, I'm not sure if the sheer abundance of near-perfect pictures they're being bombarded with on a daily basis doesn't distort their reality, if even subconsciously.
So you say, okay, I'm in a relationship with a guy, and I know that there are better guys than him in the world.
Yes.
Better shaped, richer, etc.
Earning more, having more money, I don't know.
Why do I need technology to know this? I think that everybody knows that somewhere there, before or after technology, I would never date Brad Pitt. I mean, I know that he's there, he's great, etc. Touched, retouched, he's a... Okay, that's the big, because we are talking about relationship and probably being there, like saying, oh, I picked this one, but there's probably 10 better ones than him. But that's a constant struggle. It's not because of technology. It's the nature of choosing.
Yeah.
Oh, you choose one, you don't choose the 10 others. And there is always... So, yeah, probably technology enhances this, makes it more present.
Yes.
The fact that they're... But I don't think, imagine you are in the middle age, you are marrying the gardener, you know that the Son of the Lord exists. It's not like you are not completely oblivious to this fact. Probably you can't figure out, you can't visualize the hundreds of sons of lords that are there. I would say one is enough to let you, to make you understand that, Yeah,
I would... On a rational level, I would agree with that, but I'm not sure if that is what most people experience.
Define what most people.
Yeah, here's my example. I get the example with the son of the Lord or the daughter of the Lord, whatever. And that, of course, you were aware that there are these people, but you wouldn't... For you, or the movie stars in the 50s and 60s, or maybe 70s, they would be people that you see in the cinema. You go there, you see them in the cinema, maybe you read about them in some magazine or so, but today, they come to your home. They're like your friends. You like their pictures, maybe not them, but their social media team has special messages for you. You feel like they're much closer to your life. You can almost touch them. You can take part in their lives. And it's not one, it's not two, it's not just 1 or 2 or 3 stars that you follow. It's like if you open Instagram and you don't do the my friends, but you look at the recommendations for Instagram, there's only perfect people. There's only people looking great, being on a yacht, being in a private jet, doing some really interesting stuff. So you're bombarded with that. Literally 1,000 times a day you take out your phone. So I think there is subconsciously some
for
change.
you, the conclusion here is that if I see more, I will be more frustrated.
Yes.
So it will put my relationship at risk.
Yeah, comparison is a problem.
I have a deep conviction that when you are in love, you're blind for other people. So it doesn't matter if I receive 10, 100 or 1,000 pictures of beauty. I know that they exist. Handsome men and successful. So what? But that's me. I think also that there is a counter trend on Instagram and everywhere that now explain us, a lot of people take their time to explain us how these pictures are photoshopped, how it's not true, how there is depression behind the smiles, etc., etc. So I think that, probably it was true like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, in the beginning of the social medias, etc. But I think that now, everybody wants to post a happy picture of them.
Yes.
But that has been always the case.
Yeah.
Nobody would paint a picture, even in like the Renaissance, I don't know how to call this in English, but before they were painting, enlightenment, etc. Nobody would paint you in your worst day.
Yeah.
They will paint you with all these things all around. So and I think that, each civilizational change like this, it was the books, then it was the phone, that was the TV, and the radio, and the television, and now internet, social media, etc. Okay, now it's very powerful. Hopefully we are more prepared because we have been through this road to all this enhancement to our access to knowledge, to our comparison, etc. Where we can improve is how we educate our kids to compare what is worth comparing. Well, that's another topic. I don't think that I have seen a lot of people who have struggled with why this lady has liked your picture. Mm-hmm. I had a taxi driver once who was trying to explain to somebody that he has liked this picture in February. We were in June. Mm-hmm. Doesn't even remember why, how, and who this lady is. And he was facing a scandal because he liked this picture. But I think that the basis of this kind of arguments is not technology. It's not, yes, you have a sign, you have a kind of evidence you can go and point a finger at.
Yeah.
But if it's not this evidence, it could be another one.
Yeah, but there's simply more variety in things to point your finger at, because you're more visible and you're more trackable, you're more traceable. So if you have a suspicious mindset, there's ample of stories. I mean, it's about connecting the dots, they say, and you can connect the dots wrongly. But now here are so many dots that there are so many possibilities to connect them that nearly all of them are wrong, just because there's a multitude of ways to connect dots.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, okay, where is the problem? In the dots? In our capacity to connect them correctly?
Yeah, in our capacity.
Or the analysis we have of the connection of these dots, etc. So, I think that blaming the tool is a very easy excuse. Like we say, okay, technology has made us this and that. We were there in the meantime. We had our heads on our shoulders. Yeah. Nobody has taken our heads away, and we still have our critical thinking. And now, okay, the difference, how to say, the difference between people with critical thinking, people with less critical thinking, people without critical thinking at all is more visible.
Yes.
But it's not new.
Okay, I would agree on that. So I would probably agree that technology, social media amplifies these things. If you're not bright, then probably it's easier to be misled, because there is so much content there.
Honestly, yes. I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, you are not bright enough.
Yes.
You are misled.
Yes.
Why I would care?
Yeah, because
you have, I don't know.
Because you're in the same society.
I know, okay. Yes. But in this same society, people make choices every day.
Yes.
What to eat, what to drink, where to go, what to wear, when to sleep, who to date, etc., etc., etc. At some point, we are particularly picky on what these people will like, who they will identify with, etc. And I'm not, and here I'm not blaming the people, because, somehow, and we all watched this documentary on Netflix about social media. I don't know if you...
Well, I didn't. I don't have Netflix, but
it's absolutely... it's eye-opening and it's horrible and it's beautiful because the people have had the courage to speak, etc. But actually, it's not the people. The entire responsibility doesn't lay with the people. It's with the ones who are writing the algorithms. And, Facebook and Instagram, they brainwash you. You like two things, then the next 2 weeks you are bombarded with the same things.
Yes. And it's evilly good, I should say.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you don't have, at least I don't know how. I don't have the capacity to stop this, because it's like I'm having an argument with my boyfriend and I'm wondering whether it's worth it. And somehow I read something like, this Facebook wisdom. And here you go. Next week, next 2 weeks, there will be 10,000 messages on how I should not accept this, how I'm a fierce woman, how I'm a and I should stop this relationship immediately, and I should be proud of myself and my dark femininity and all this BS all over the place. So that's a problem. It's not people who read this, people who send this are the problem.
Yeah, but they do, and they're being selected by the algorithm to be specifically shown to me. I mean, there's an endless supply of content, but the algorithm targets me with very specific content because the algorithm believes, for good reasons, I guess, because there's a ton of big data science behind that, that this is something I will interact with, that I will read, that triggers me.
Anyway, we can't fight with this.
Yes, okay.
I don't think so. I don't think that I can raise my hand and tell Facebook, please don't.
Yeah.
So, can we stop Facebook? Yeah, why not? Is life be less interesting? Not sure. Now, more and more, it starts to become a professional tool rather than a interpersonal tool. I remember in the beginning, I'm old enough to remember in the beginning where we were posting these ridiculous statuses. Diana is feeling whatever. And that was a status. And everybody was like, oh, how are you, etc. I still have these messages in the beginning of my Facebook story. Now it became, and I think that as everything, it will fade away.
Yeah.
Something else will come to replace it. How it influences our relationships, I think that we are spending a lot of time scrolling. Why not? Before we were watching television. Yeah. Again, for me, if people have things to tell to each other, they will find a way and time, etc., to do it. If they don't, now have the tools.
Okay. Is there something specific, just to get that angle covered? And I see here myself, I see younger people I interact with, I see my parents with whom I interact. Is there something specific to this divide of 50 plus? I mean, it's kind of, you can't be a digital native if you're 50 plus, yeah? So you didn't grow up with social media. So maybe your immune system is not the same, because you mentioned these things, everybody should be aware that all these pictures are photoshopped and how this is being done. I'm not sure my parents are aware of that. I'm not sure every 50 plus is aware of that. I am, because I'm a photographer. You are, because you follow these things. But it's really everybody, then again, especially in the older cohort, aware of all these things and all these mechanisms, also how these algorithms work. I mean, do many people 50 plus really care or really know?
I think it's auto-regulated.
Okay.
If they, I have heard this somewhere, that Facebook is all the people social media. Now young people
that's
are
true, yes. Nobody,
whatever, and YouTube is, I don't even know what it is, but it's not exactly the place where 50 plus people go. And I think, I'm part of a group, two groups actually, 50 plus women traveling solo, and another one which is makeup advice for 50, I think it's even 40. And so I don't know how many members there are. And you can see how it auto-regulates itself. Like, there are women posting pictures just for bragging.
Yes.
Like, oh, look at me. I'm 65. And look how beautiful. Yes. They're very, very nice, cute, innocent women who are posting pictures of how they are really, not etc. And there is always people who are correcting them, like, okay, stop showing off. Yeah. It's good. You don't need our advice. It's go away.
Leave the group because you obviously
you know what you are doing.
Yes.
It's like, and the other ones, okay, the trip, the travel thing is okay, but again, in a relationship, 50 plus, I think with technology in there, I think it can be very enriching, because you can exactly do this, like have two separate streams. You know, you are watching how to fish. I'm watching how to cook.
Yeah, okay.
We don't have the same things, but we still have.
Who has the remote question is no longer as pressing.
Yeah, and it's like Charlotte, the cat has a new thing for cats, so she's
more
very
aggressive than usually.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the. So overall, I think that in order to live better in your relationship, I think that we should consider technology as a friend.
Okay.
Rather than an enemy. It's let's make it a part of us. Same for when you end the relationship.
It's a very interesting topic. Yes.
Yeah,
how does it play out in the end game? How does
I would say it's very difficult because the Gestalt, obviously the Gestalt. So
very nice German word. Yes.
Yeah, and the Gestalt theory is a theory of the good forms, and it says that you need to have a proper closure. One of my therapists, once I was going through a difficult separation, and I couldn't close properly, and one of the things you may do is write letters, like write, and just.
Actually, with your hand.
But yeah, and just say everything you have on your heart and say, yeah, I did this, you didn't do that, and I'm proud of myself because I was doing a work on myself, etc. I'm going to my therapist and she says, okay, it's good that you're writing, but you need to write the answers as well. So it's not enough just to write your point of view, write the answers. So yeah, and actually it helps. But to close a relationship, you need to have the points, like the periods. Say, okay, you did it.
That's it. And
that's
it ends
it.
here.
Everybody follows their own way. But with technologies, it starts to become very difficult because you have their Facebooks, their Instagrams, their whatever. You can track he's online. Oh, he's not online. What he's doing? Why it's 2:00 in the morning? He's online. What he's on? So, yeah, and it makes the anguish even more difficult, painful, etc. On the other hand, the game of blocking and unblocking, have you done it?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so it's painful. You feel like you're 14.
Yeah.
I will block you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's childish. Let me unblock him.
Yeah, and then just to notice, I am blocked from the other side. Yes.
It's so ridiculous. Yeah. But we're doing it. Yeah. So I think it's a wise thing to do in the beginning to block. Even if it means, for me, the message is kind of, and it's not true, you're nothing to me. You are nothing to me. I'm blocking you. I can't live without you. That's it.
But isn't the message exactly the opposite? Isn't the message like, you still have an effect on me, which is why I have to block you to heal.
I don't know. You're right. Yeah. That's this conversation that goes through my mind when I'm like blocking and blocking. Yeah. If I'm blocking you, I'm giving you much more importance that you have.
Yeah. In a way, because you say you're important enough. You have so much influence on me that I have to block you.
Physically stop, which wouldn't happen before.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you. Yes. I don't go to this bar.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then
very simple.
Yeah.
Because I know that's where you hang out. So
the world is my oyster. I go wherever. Like it's. But now people are everywhere, and not only they can have their activities, but they are also tagged.
Yes.
Which is another.
You can track them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even if the guy doesn't want to hurt you and to show pictures of him like partying and with 3 ladies on a beach, somebody finds this very nice to tag him somewhere. Yes. So you are like, okay. So I think, I don't know. I know it's childish, but I think that in the beginning it's not bad to block people. I don't know what people think about this. Again, aren't we supposed to be more mature and not to go to this clear cuts and then be able to go through the information that you receive on how beautiful the life of your ex is without you.
I think the jury is still out there. I mean, if it helps to block, then maybe it's. I mean, let's put it. Here's my take on that. It's a tool that's nice to have in your toolbox. Whether or not you use it probably depends on the circumstances. But there it is, and it may help in a lot of cases.
That's the only way. That's the only moment I think that technology is not so friendly.
Okay. How so?
Because, because of this easy access, because you lose control. You are not the one controlling what's going on.
Yes.
Like, the things they pop up, etc. And you are just kind of at the receiving end, and the only way to stop being on the receiving end is to manually cut it.
Yes.
Otherwise, you are just kind of
constantly bombarded.
Yeah, yes. And it's very rare that the person that you have dumped remains silent for a period of time out of respect for you. No, they don't. In general, but depends on the person. But that's the only moment I don't see a big advantage of the technology. Otherwise, I think it's a wonderful tool that helps us remain connected, helps us exchange information, exchange pictures, exchange articles, exchange music, exchange moments of joy, etc. Helps us filtering the shallow connections from the real ones. And if we take it as it is, it can be a kind of servant.
I am afraid I'm a bit more pessimistic than you, as so often, because I would love to agree with you. I would really love that, but I think you are overestimating the capabilities of people to deal with that, to sort that out, to sieve out the good from the bad, the shallow from the deep.
But everybody is functioning at their level.
Yes.
So, I mean...
But that's my point.
Yeah. So, they will manage as much as they can manage. I truly believe that there is a regulation that happens.
Oh, I do believe that. I do believe that. I do believe if you put the effort in and you train the algorithm, which you can do in a certain way, you can block certain people, you can block certain groups, you can emphasize certain topics. You can say, I want to see more of that, I want to see less of that. You can control a ton of things. Also, which ads you see. Do you want context-sensitive ads? What are you interested in? How does my profile work? I can like certain groups, and then my algorithm profile change. There's a ton of things I can do. Also, I can be very mature on how I use it. I can limit myself to a certain number of minutes or hours a day. My screen, there's a ton of things I can do. All I'm saying is, this is my simple point, that all of that is a lot of work, and many people may not even know how to do it, because and many people may know how to do it, but maybe don't bother because it's too much work.
So what?
But at the end of the day, we are left with a system that is working suboptimally. That's what I'm saying.
And so what? It has always worked suboptimally.
Yeah, but here we have technology, and it doesn't solve our problems. It just
That's what I'm saying.
To a new level. So it's kind of a sad story.
Why?
Yeah, because it's here to solve our problems, not to take them to a new level.
That's a tool. It's not a problem solver.
Well, what is a tool then, if not a problem solver?
It can participate at something, but not itself. We shouldn't rely on technology to suddenly make the whole society very clever and very well informed, etc. No, probably it makes the edges sharper, like like some extremes against other extremes. Yes, but there's also people in the middle who are taking advantages, who are able to filter. I have big faith, but I always have faith in whatever, in everything, by the way. But so that's not new. Stupid people have existed, they will always exist.
Well, we can agree on that.
Yeah, okay. People who will try, do their best, they will. Now, are they equipped to have access to more information? Yes.
Yes.
That's good. Will they be able to filter the right information? That's another question. How they will implement this information in their relationships, that's another type of, that's another skill. But we need to be nice with ourselves. We need some time. We need to adopt this. We need to, it's nothing. I still remember my first mobile phone, which means that it's not even 50 years old.
No, it's not. Was it probably the 90s or something like that? Yes.
So come on.
Which feels like yesterday.
Yeah, it's like terrible. It was a big leap from nothing to everything. So, oof. Let's not be too ambitious, over-expecting that suddenly people, even the technology is trying to find itself. And yeah, there are people who would go to some Facebooks, etc., that will go and explore the limits of it. We'll see. But I think it's interesting, and I think that it's always better to befriend the tools rather than making them evil and say, oh no, they think.
Well, I would agree on that. I would agree on that with you. I'm just, and that's my whole point, and maybe we can leave it there for the moment. I'm just a bit more pessimistic than you that many people will choose to do that, to use social media, to use technology wisely. And also, I feel that in a certain way we are being nudged by the social media companies to not necessarily use it wisely, but to use them in a way to amplify outrage. It's often being reported that what counts for them is interaction, and outrage feeds interaction. But I have your point, and I would agree on that there is a tool, we can use it wisely. It's our choice to do so, and it's not necessarily the fault of technology if we don't, if we choose not to. It's a choice that we do, consciously or subconsciously. So with that being said, do we have any last words on that matter? Any to do or any takeaway?
Oh no, I wouldn't go and advise on how to use technology in your couples or in your relationships because it's a very personal thing, and again, it's like related to the thresholds of frustrations you have. I think, as always, working on your emotional regulations, on your intellectual capabilities, and how you process information and how you process your feelings and your projections, everything. That's always the answer. Doesn't matter. They can put a nuclear weapon in your hands, or they can put a stone. I know that you can make a totally different damage with two of them, but now we are all given a computer.
Yes.
So, some of us are more skilled on how to work with it, etc. But I think that there is always a human behind. So that's where we need to work on.
Fantastic. Let's maybe leave it. But we do have one piece of advice.
Yeah, what? Subscribe. Cheers!
Like and subscribe, and do comment on our topics in the comment section. We shall answer the comments. And Diana, what are we? We are breaking a habit here. I mean, this is more than €10. Yeah?
Champagne, but it became warm.
Yeah, but we told everybody we'd never drink anything costing more than €10, and now we're drinking champagne. What's wrong with us?
And we are celebrating your engagement. So we have a special occasion.
We have something to celebrate. Cheers.
Bye.
Ciao.